I've compiled a list of materials to finally get the shed finished because I'd say that's been too long, would you? So we're trying to save the old shed. So far we've got the floor down to give us a nice platform to work off, and we're going to start putting the roof on it. But when I've went to do that, I've noticed a wee bit rickety. And you can see here she's a mile off the plumb. And that's because there's movement in it. And if you think about it, if this was a kit for like a house or an extension, we'd have built the panels, we'd have squared them up, and then we'd have put OSB on them, and that would have held them all square and rigid. Whereas here we've just got the bare panels with no dwangs in it. I can't remember why. Probably for weight, because I was working myself and I didn't know what the finish was going to be on it. Hindsight, I'm probably going to OSB it anyway, so we should have done it at the time. But I found this little bit of CLS behind the shed, which was, remember, about the big projector. So I've put this on diagonally, I've plumbed it up, and I'll stitch it on. And that'll give it some support now, temporary, until we can get the roof on and get it plied. Well, remember, before you put it on, make sure you're sitting plumb. And as you can see, that's going nowhere now. I mean, it's no solid, but at least it's holding itself plumb, and that'll let us get the roof on, and then we can work on firming the rest of it up. So the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice the front of the shed is quite a bit higher than the back of the shed. That's intentional to let the water run off. I can't remember what the difference is, what pitch it is, but it's less than 10 degrees, and a roof with a pitch less than 10 degrees is still classed as a flat roof. It's going to be absolutely fine. It's sitting nice there. I'm no bird's mouth in the back, it's a shed at the end of the day. There's no a heat binder, it's a single wall plate, there's 6x2s, it's going to be felted. It's going to be absolutely fine, but don't be doing this for an extension or a house or whatever.
Going to look like a house.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it is. But it's not a house.
It's not a house. So the boss has spoken, you've heard it. So there's rules we can bend a wee bit when it comes to making these, which is good, because it means if you're building your own, you don't need to be fucking up to the NHBC spec. And you can see I've left it quite a bit long at the front. It's also long at the back. I'm going to build a wee ladder to extend the sides, and then I'll ping a line through them and cut them, and that way my fascia is going to sit perfectly straight rather than trying to cut them all off the wall plate, because it's been lying a while. It could take a bit of a bend or a belly or a bulge or anything in it. So the best method is string is king. There is one rule we want to stick to, and that's crowning our rafters, because we want the belly on it, if there is one, to be up the way, and that way the weight pushes it down and levels it out. It's the same with roofs. It's the same if you're joisting out a decking, the weight of the deck will put it down. So, where are you going with that? So all you need to do is run your eye down it, and I can see this goes bellying out this way. So I'll mark a wee curve with my pencil. You stole my pencil?
I haven't.
Have you not?
I have.
I think you have. You're up to no good. Yeah, I just mark that to show the belly and the joist, and that way we know this edge of the joist will go to the top, and when the weight goes on the top and the belly, it should help push that down and sort of flatten the curve a wee bit over time.
This looks like a house, but not. It's Daddy's new shed, and we're building a roof on it, and that means...
And why do we need a new tape?
Because Daddy snapped the other one.
So, as you can see, I wasn't too happy with the lack of bracing and no SB on it. So I've postponed the roof for the now, and I've started putting some sheets on the sides, but I've only got the sheets for the roof, so I'll pick up the rest of it tomorrow. We'll get the sides square, plumb, solid, and then we can start plying the roof. We'll get this all cut back for our soffits and what have you. Welcome back to day 2 of our big shed build. As you can see, we made decent progress yesterday. We got the floor down, we got it squared up and plumbed and racked, and we got the joists on the roof, and I've got a couple of sheets of OSB on just to hold it a bit firmer and rigid. So the day's plan is finish the framework here, get it all plied, all OSB'd. Don't tell me OSB isn't ply, it's just what we say. And also I've got this triple glazed fixed light to get in. I think I got this before I even started the frame of the shed, so this might have been out here for 4 years. It'll be good to see it get into place. Oh, dear Lord. I'll tell you one thing. This never gets any lighter. But we've got the three sides all but sheeted. We've still got some headers to go in for the doors, the window opening to form, wee bits to infill here and trim back and what have you. And I've still got this full side to put on. But aye, we've got this side to infill and sheet last. This brace is pretty much all that's holding this plumb. But once this side's framed out, studs are in, OSB's on, then that'll tie it all together and it'll be really solid and rigid. And then we can get to work on this roof. We'll trim the joists back. We'll get the sheathing, the sarking on the OSB on the roof. And we'll build these ladders. We'll work out our overhang and what have you. And that'll be pretty much ready for felt. Or we might do EPDM, the rubber gear. We'll get the window in and I'm waiting to hear back about a door. So hopefully by the end of today, I'm just going to grab a bite to eat now. We'll be pretty much nearly there, ready for cladding. So I've held a stud up here, I've plumbed it up, and I've marked underside it to give me the angle I need to cut it here to fit onto the header here. Because that's the mitre cut there, and it's on here at 5 degrees. Do we think that's a 5-degree pitch on that roof? We'll find out later on, because remember, that header is hanging like a pun of mince. So as you see, we nail the kits up as opposed to screwing them, even though the withdrawal capacity of a screw is much greater than a nail. This is a pass load nail out the gun that we're using, and if I put my hammer in, that'll come out no bother. Do the same with the screw. And it takes so much more of a bite as opposed to the nail. So why don't we use screws instead of nails? Well, we live in Scotland, and I don't know if you noticed, but it gets quite windy now and again. And therefore, there's shear forces act upon these buildings, try to blow them over. If these shear forces are acting on a nail just flexes and bends with it. Whereas if these same forces are acting upon a screw, the kit would just rip itself to bits. And that's why we always opt for nails. But you get structural screws. What we've done for the roof is we've decided on an overhang, and I've decided on 400mm. I've measured off the wall plate here, 400 out, and then I've plumbed it up and I've put a nail in. I've also measured 400 off the very end one, plumbed it up, and we're going to put a chalk line for here, right over the end one, ping them, and that'll keep all these nice and straight. And hopefully we've managed to ping a line right across to the very end. Though, they ones in the middle look a wee bit low, maybe not hit them. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And what we can do now is set our speed square on there, and we see that that's just over 5 degrees. Which, if you remember, is what we set our chop saw to cut that stud. Now, we can now set the sliding bevel at that angle and mark all of them, or we can swap speed squares to this one, which actually has a bevel on it that moves. Set this to 5 degrees and away we go. See that there? That moves. And we can just hook that on each one, pencil them for the mark of the chalk, and get the snorter in about. Something like that. See, that's not too bad. Happy with that. Some of the sheets on. We've built the ladder and stuck it on this end, but we'll need to pack it up so it's sitting nice. And then we can string through the back, do the same with them, plywood the rest of it. And I'll get these back here later on because it's to rain tomorrow and the rest of the week, so I want to get cracked on, so I've not really got time to film much more, but it's all the boring bits now anyway. We have a problem. As you know, last week we got some cracking weather and it really let us get cracking on with this shed. But then the weather took a turn for the worst, didn't it? And we got some rain. I was about a sheet of OSB away from getting my roof finished, and I'd used chipboard for the flooring. And it's absolutely soaking. And if we look at these joints here, well, because the water's got in between the joints, the chipboard started expanding and swelling, and it's starting to blow. So we might end up eventually having to plywood over the top of this floor, but the priority now is to get this roof finished, and I'll just pick up some underfelt and we'll get that down and tap it, and at least it'll be watertight. We've got a door to pick up and a window to get in, and hopefully we can prevent any further damage. But the weather's not to be too good today either, so we better get cracking. We'll need to get the dwangs in as well, and I've not even packed the ladders up. So even you don't do a job at the time, it's easy to forget. We need to remember to pack the ladders up. Now, one job I really don't like doing is dwanging. It's boring, but again, it's essential that we do it. Look, here, see that? That daylight. Look, you can see here, this is obviously the joist running down here, so the join on the joist is absolutely solid, but the join where there's no dwang, and that means there's felt, or we might be going for rubber on this, will be sagging there and the water will just pool there and never ever run off the roof till we get another day like we did last week. Just trim this off flush with the ladder. We've had to re-chalk through our rafter tails here because obviously the rain's washed it off, and as you can see it's picking up a wee bit now. It's awkward to get into, so I've plied it so I could get down further, but that's meant I can't now get my rip snorter in. I thought it'd been awkward, and left-handed maybe. I was going to handsaw them, and I've bought new handsaws, backhoes, but the only one I can find is this forged steel thing. So I'll cut one, we'll see how it goes, and if no, we'll get out the rain, we'll go a shopping trip and pick up a new saw. Oh, I'll start with this one because what's the point in doing them in order? Off, blunt, ridiculous. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's not great. They do say a good workman never blames his tools, but that's alright if you've got the proper tools to begin with. Regretting not going for a saw now, but listen, the straighter and neater we can get these, the less grief we have when it comes to doing our fascia when we're lining it through. It's alright, but listen, a good saw does make all the difference, and I still maintain the Baco hardpoint saw is one of the best saws on the market. Right, let's get out this rain, it's getting heavier. So we've still got the bit of OSB to go on here. We've got a few bits to piece in up round the top of this kit here, and that's pretty much all the sheeting done. We've still got the dreaded dwangs to get in, but because I want to put a rubber roof on it, can I afford to wait to get a nice dry day? I don't know what one of these is. I've got a door there, I'm waiting to see what hand it is because it's one somebody's got for me. Depending what way it's handed, I'll dictate what side I want to put it in, I think. Then we can build these in, get the door in, get the window in. Once the roof's felt it, cladding. Job done. So we're nearly there, we're not far away. So today we're going to get this door in, and I've been kindly gifted this composite from my friend Big Guinness for the trade tricks. So it's worthwhile joining that. And we've got two openings here to choose from, but I looked at the door and from what I can see it's hinged on the right for the outside, so I think I'm going to put it up in this corner here. So it's open away, and that gives me all this space. I can get a big bench down here if I need or whatever. So the first thing we need to do, wee Barra, is get the J-kit off it, get a look at it, we'll see what size it is, and then we can build a frame to suit. Do you think we'll need to put a lintel in? We've not got a headbinder though, but we'll see how it is.
Yeah.
Deal. Oh, look, the handles and everything, pal. Lovely. And a nice bit of obscured glass. And it has keys too. This is handles, locks. That is a nice looking door, isn't it? And as you can see, it comes with the sill already attached, so that'll save us a bit of silicone and a bit of screwing. I'm delighted with that, that's a cracking door. Because I'm making this shed up as I go, I don't know what cladding I'm putting on it yet. Do I keep this flush with the plywood? Do I keep it out a bit and run the cladding down to it? Or do I keep it flush, run the cladding on and a wee ingo around it? Good thing is, we'll be frame fixing this with screws, so if I do need to move it later on, it's easy enough to do. So my door, outside the frame to outside the frame's 930mm. What I've done is I've made this 940, I've gave myself 10mm, and I've cut through this bottom rail, and we'll get that out. And that means the door sits a wee bit lower than the floor level, so we'll have a nice low threshold when we come in, we'll not have a big step. that a deer with no eyes? I no idea. Let's offer her into position. See how it looks.
Yeah, that looks great.
Does that look great?
Yeah, that looks great.
Does that look really great?
Yeah, that looks really great.
Really big show, really big. Should we get the spirit level on it? Let's get wee packers in there, buddy. One in to hold it now, right? Wait a minute, I might keep that flush to the inside
That looks
and put a nice angle on it. I bet this has got reinforcing in it. No. Men Basham's bass. We need to keep this away for the hingeo. You don't want to screw for the hinges, bud. See, sometimes the worst thing you can do is actually plumb these up. You just got to work with what you've got.
That looks like McDonald's here.
It could be doing with a wee packer under that end. A wee packer under this end, under the frame, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, go and jump out with me a wee second. Well done, you. I'm going to slide a wee packer under it. Maybe a doubler.
No one.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful. I used to do that for a living, you know. How's the handle sitting squint though? Is it? Got a wee packet in there.
Nothing happens to McDonald's.
Yeah. Well, we need to put a lock on it, man.
Why do we need to put the lock in it?
Because it can't lock without the lock. Yeah.
But no, we're at McDonald's. We're safe.
We're safe.
We're safe at McDonald's.
You've put your key in and you need to get a wee turn to that back's flush. That was tight.
Yeah, looks like.
And then look, this screw goes in here to hold it. There we go. Yeah, perfect.
Dear. Now I'm at McDonald's.